I personally believe that the actions of mankind are making it worse. I don't agree with everything the environmental movement says, specifically the bits about population control. I think that's actually a really narrow sector of environmentalism, and I don't believe it's representative of the environmental movement as a whole. But I believe that I hope we can get everybody to accept that if the climate is changing, which it is, and if humanity is a cause, which you disagree with. I think it is.
Here's my question, though. Can I ask you a question? How did it get warm before? How is it that it was warmer before, and it wasn't
just about temperature, though, is it? It's not an issue that's solely about temperature. Initially, people say global warming, which I believe got it wrong. It narrowed it. They weren't as specific, and I think the science has gone beyond that now. And I don't.
No, sorry, you can't change the goalposts. It was global warming. We were warned about global warming. They didn't call it anything else. They were very specific.
Okay, yeah, but what about?
Al Gore's film is about global warming.
What about the case, though, for example, for Ireland, for the United Kingdom? If global temperatures rise, that will lead to a cooler temperature in the United Kingdom. It could stop the Gulf Stream. I studied this quite a lot at geography A level, and it's one of the paradoxes of it that I think some people do find difficult to understand is global warming, like average global warming, can lead to regional cooling. And so I think that's one of the reasons they decided to call it climate change instead.
But what about the fact that there is no consensus on the science? There's a lot of disagreement on the science.
I think there is disagreement. I think a lot of to be brutally honest, a lot of scientists who are anti-global warming are in the pay of the oil companies. From what I've read, from what I've seen, that is true. I don't expect you to agree with me.
No, but you've read that in the New York Times, which is a paper that's very ideological, that has a problem with big business. Richard Linton from MIT, who is the chair of atmospheric sciences, has tenure at MIT, says there isn't anything to worry about. He's saying that he's paid for by oil. Do you know this?
I don't know for certain.
But you're very quick, though. You're very, very fast, though, to sort of slander a man who has a huge career in MIT. You don't trust him.
Well, if I respect it, you're quite quick to stand at the other side.
No, what I've said is that there's no agreement. What you're saying is anyone who disagrees is a liar. Is being
no, I said some of the scientists were paid for by oil.
Oh, I think I don't think you said the word some.
Well, that's what I meant. If I don't,
I think that's a quick exploratory thing to say. So you're suspicious of anyone who questions it. You're suspicious of them.
I'm suspicious of some of the people who advocate it as well. I think that, for example, the ones who believe in population control, I think are ridiculous. I would call myself sort of a moderate believer. I don't believe that there's too many people. I believe that people are one of the world's greatest resources, and if the world is changing, as I believe, due to human activity, then I think there will be human methods to prevent that, because humanity is incredibly inventive, and humanity can do pretty much whatever it wants to achieve.
What are we doing wrong? You think that CO2 emissions are a problem?
I do, yeah. Based on the evidence I've read in reports from places like the United Nations.
But people who eminent scientists say that that's not true. What is it? Sorry, I want to get clear on this.
There are eminent scientists who say it's true. I mean, there is no consensus.
That's exactly the point.
I agree
my question to you is then, on a non-consensus, so if there's no consensus on the science, do you think we should stop developing, which is what they're suggesting? Stop using fossil fuels?
I think we should develop differently. I don't think, I agree with my friend Simon over there about nuclear power. I'm glad to see, I think what some of the senior members of Friends of the UK have about nuclear power as a kind of common sense solution to reducing carbon emissions, which I think is a good step forward. I think for the environmental movement it's a pragmatic, moderate step forward, which is a good thing. I think we should encourage development of things like alternative energy. I think at the moment, yes, they're inefficient, yes, they're expensive, but I mean, you two yourselves are great believers in capitalism. Yes. They will get more efficient, they will get cheaper.
But why would government subsidise that? That's not the free market. Why can't we just develop all these things, and if they work, people can buy them, people can buy whatever they like. But for the moment that the market decides, and the market is deciding that coal is the cheapest way to power the world, to power America anyway,
yeah, it's also one of the most polluting ways to power the world. I think
but hang on, the word polluting is your word. You can't say that this is what I was coming out of my mouth is pollution. You think that's coming out of my mouth?
Oh, no, I mean, coal is the most polluting way to power the world. at the moment, in terms of gas emissions.
CO2 emissions, what I want to talk about. So you're describing CO2 as
Yeah. Well,
a lot of people don't think it is.
because
we put that into a greenhouse to make things grow. So you think we put in pollution into
I
a
think if we've
greenhouse?
got too much, it becomes a problem.
But people disagree with you. But
Yeah,
despite
they
that,
disagree.
exactly.
Yeah,
But despite that, you think we should stop the way we're developing.
I don't believe for a minute that countries should have to stop development. I do work for an international development charity. I'm also international development, I'm also a country. You know, I don't agree that we have the right to say you can't have our standards of living because of the way it's going. But I think that we have to change the way we're developing. I think there does need to be an emphasis on things that are better for the environment.
So what do you suggest? You suggest that America sign up to this global warming tax, the cap and trade tax?
No, I think actually it sounds odd for someone who's interested in environmentalism to say. I think Bush was actually right. I think that what will happen with cap and trade is that jobs from America will just go elsewhere to countries that are less efficient with energy, and they'll just increase. I think it does need to be a global effort,
But it won't be a global effort. The Indians have made it really clear.
well,
So what do we do then?
I don't know is the answer.
Okay.
I'm not saying I have all the answers, but I'm saying
But
humanity
humans
is
are
incredibly
the problem.
inventive.
But you've said that we're the problem.
I think human development is the problem, but I think as well, and I think it's extremely important, humans are causing a problem, not the whole problem, but they are causing a problem. Humans are also the solution, which is why I'm different to some of the more radical environmentalists. I think you showed on your clip, you believe that getting rid of humans is the problem. I believe that humanity, the inventiveness of humanity.
Very extreme. Greenpeace talk like that. A lot of people don't think Greenpeace are extreme.
But I would still classify myself as pro.
As pro
Environmentalist. But I do believe that human ingenuity, human inventiveness will solve the problem that I do believe human actions are causing. I think it's a solution to a problem, and that's the way I see it. I think we disagree slightly, but
oh no, and more than slightly. We fundamentally.
Then that's fine.
Exactly.
At least we can debate, right?
No, absolutely, exactly.
I'm willing to debate. I'm not going to. You notice I haven't walked away.
Which is unusual, but Al Gore walks away. What do you make of that?
Well, I'm not going to try and give Al Gore advice, but if I was in that position and I was confident in my position, and obviously he's more aware, he's researching more. I mean, I'm not, I don't study it in depth, but if I had studied it in depth and I was armed with facts and statistics, then I'd stay and argue. I've stayed and argued now, and I probably know fewer facts and figures than you, so if I learn more facts and figures, I think I'd probably be more equipped to answer your questions from my own point of view.
Exactly.